So for my cover on things, under my double epsilon, whilst living in this hell that they call New York, I was out in Long Island. I was in what appeared to be my carriage house. If I'm going out of my Coptic view, it was the carriage house at the dollhouse location, whilst Alexander and I were living there, with Benjamin, with the smashed front end Benz, Benz, under that guy's GUISE. There was a gentleman, I think he's a local, like a MITI for the Long Island crew. I had never met him before. But again, I don't know when they come in and when they go. And non importante per lei. So he came. I don't have a marker on him in the genetic wheelhouse because I only had a one time that I need to remember at the moment, and it was significant help from him to my part. So as long as he continues to work in that capacity, he's fully covered. But I showed he has blue eyes. I showed his blue-eyed photo that came up on a Facebook dating portion of Facebook, that JC number 28, when him and I were just hanging out, Mr. Brown Eyes in Bayside, BAYSIDE for the paranoid, gladiators, no less, the alpha types, right? So when we were just hanging out, just making friends with random strangers, he told me to go on the Facebook dating portion. I didn't even know the such. So I went on there. Sure enough, look at that. He's telling me women are like ovens, OVENS. And I'm like, yeah. And so I was like, I'll listen to the story. Go ahead. How do you know? How are they like ovens? I mean, I didn't want to contribute. It was his story. He was the contributor. He was the whatever of his oven story. I mean, I run Coven, what do I know? So I'm like, okay. So didn't say that to him though. I'm like, okay, great. So then I pull up and I go, this guy contacted me. I was like, what do you think about this guy? I said, he's really handsome, isn't he? And he looks at my contact and he goes, looks like a Long Island boy to me. And I'm like, right. So just for further explanation, that Long Island boy, the one with the blue eyes, he's part of Blue Eye cover for Brown Eye for stalagmites and stalactites for next gen children, since JC number 28 has a very special kid in Star Speak, as far as I'm concerned. He has significance. And so as long as, again, Father helps out, then the one that I can see for a future would be the next gen that he has. As far as the other gentleman goes with the blue eyes, him and I, he drove me, we were in my carriage house at the Omega Disaster House, where we were actually living with whatever. I gave him the smashed front end Benz, right, BENZ, right? He had a key with the rifle that I never opened and never held. Was a rifle lock key on that. So I gave him that key to drive the Mini Cooper, my service vehicle. And we went to wherever we went to see Eric, ERICK, from another part, because he was working. He was a really handsome, I called him the millionaire hottie, Kathy Stepnick. It was about the time I was friends with her in Ronkonkoma just for a placement. I told her, my God, he's like the hottest guy in the gym. I'm like, right, but then like nothing ever came of it, like whatever. So let's think about this. Okay, so we have Eric there. Then I had one date with Eric, and then he was a pilot and he left and he couldn't come back for some reason. Step in Mr. Blue-eyed friend of whatever, that Long Island boy, and he drove my Mini Cooper, which I call now my service vehicle, which covered him to whatever Eric's, Brendan Burns said that Eric lived in the Sachem School District, and somehow something happened to his mom. He had a sister, I don't know. So anyway, my friend drove me to Eric's house, and lo and behold, I went in with a Cape May, CAPEMAY, navy blue sweatshirt with one pocket in the center. And then I wound up leaving with my seafoam green insignia sweatshirt that just had disappeared at some point, that Nick Klaus had bought for me in 1998 before he left, and then I met Jason. So that sweatshirt was back on me, and that sweatshirt had two pockets, one here, for placement. That what's his name? I had to show him, and he goes, and I go, yes. And then he asked me, he's like, this must be really hard for you. And I was like, this is incredibly hard for me. I said, I don't like Teofreo. I don't like his friends. I don't like what he comes with. I mean, like his friends, like I get along with them. I was like, it's just, I never know who's who and what's what and where they're coming from and why they're coming at me and like why they want to hang out and why they don't want to hang out. It's like a movie. I was like, and all I want is to go back in that house and never leave. I just want to be with that man. That's the man I was born for. I was like, but then I go back into my day, and then it's like my memory gets wiped, and then I forget that he exists. And then it's back to the humdrum of I fucking hate this life. I hate this world. I never asked for this. And this is like really fucking painful to get anything right. So that's how that little circle of trust works. And I'm confirming it. It happened. I'm the pivotal piece, that only one storyline. We warned in 1980 that if my storyline didn't change to where I needed it to be, that all of the war criminals in New York and the United States of America from the last fun little operation you idiots did in Europe would now become a very serious problem for me, locked in as a prisoner of war amongst all the war criminals I prosecuted, families and fortunes and whatever. That got us to 1978. I'm like astonished when this is your last fucking shot. I own the vortex. I'm putting everybody on the exact same level field, and I'm blowing the fuck out of I'm blowing you all up if this doesn't work out in my favor. That's it.